Hey everyone, this is Danny from creatingawebstore.com, and today I'm going to show you how to install the Magento shopping cart onto your Godaddy web hosting account. So let's start by going to magentocommerce.com. We're basically going to be installing the Community Edition, which is free. So Product Editions, Community Edition. Download now. You're going to be asked to create a username and password. I already have one, so I'm just going to log in. We're going to be downloading the tar.gz file, which is an archived file. This is more convenient than uploading one that's already unarchived. For example, a folder, because it takes a lot longer to upload, and since Godaddy has a built-in feature where you can unarchive files automatically, this is a lot more convenient. So if, for example, here I'm on a Mac computer. If you're on a Windows computer, I don't know if it basically unarchives files automatically, but with my computer I basically had to set up Safari so that it doesn't unarchive files. Basically, right here in general, you untick Open Save Files after downloading, which basically keeps the folder from the file from being unarchived. So let's download the file now. Now, while this file downloads, we'll also need an FTP client, because if you're going to try to upload the file through Godaddy's FTP client, built-in client, or whatever you want to call it, it basically times out since the file is so large. It's not really convenient for large files. So a free FTP client can be found at FileZilla project-project.org. And since I'm on a Mac computer, I'm going to be downloading the Mac version. Obviously, if you're on a Windows computer, you're going to want the Windows version right here. So this is going to download in just a couple of seconds. Also, with your Godaddy hosting account, you're basically going to want to make sure that you have the Linux version installed rather than the Windows hosting. So please do check that, because that's one of the requirements for Magento, which we can check out the requirements right here. As you can see, Linux is one of the requirements. So we're going to go to Godaddy now, and we're going to get our FTP login credentials. For example, we need the URL. I don't know it off the top of my head, so I actually don't even remember my Godaddy account number. So we're going to log in right here, my account. And then right here in web hosting, you're going to see the account that you basically want to install Magento on. As you can see, I have the Linux version, so we're going to launch that. Okay. So in here, this is your IP address, the server details. This is basically the address that you will need to enter in FileZilla. So let's open up FileZilla. Let's install it. Okay, and basically that's the host. So that's the IP address that I just showed you right there. And now the username that you created when you set up your hosting account, it basically gave you, it asked you to set up a username and a password. So you're going to want to enter in that information. And as you can see, I just logged in, and now I'm basically going to need to get my file. So it's in downloads, and here we go, Magento. We're going to double click that, and as you can see, now it's uploading. So once it has uploaded, we can unarchive the file and we can start the installation process. Basically what you can do is you can use the online-based FTP file manager, because it also allows you to create files and edit them, which we will need to do in order to make Magento compatible with Godaddy, which has been a pain. I was actually surprised by how difficult it is to install Magento onto a Godaddy web hosting account. So now some people tell you that you will need to change the programming language that you have, and I was shocked when I read that, because in reality the latest version as of this time on Godaddy is, let's see here, PHP version 5.3. And as you can see, 5.3 is supported by Magento, which I'm going to show you exactly how to get more information about what you have installed on your web hosting account right now. So let's go to FTP File Manager. Alright, so see, this is the file that's uploading right now. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to create another file. A PHP file, so that we can figure out more information about our web hosting account. Now this file, you can basically download the code from creatingawebstore.com, which the link is in the description of this video. So basically what we need to do is we need to create a PHP opening tag. Again, you can get this information at creatingawebstore.com. So this is just a little bit of code, PHP code. So we're going to type in the PHP start tag, echo PHP info function, semicolon, and PHP end tag. And we're going to save this as file name info.php. So now that file has saved. We're going to close this file. As you can see, it's right there. So now we're going to access this file, and we're going to find out exactly the specs of our web hosting account. So we're going to go to the web address of our store. And we're going to type in info.php, which is the name of the file that we just created. And as you can see right now, we're getting all this information about our web hosting account. As you can see, we're running PHP version 5.3.14. So as you can see right here, our web hosting account is compatible. I have already checked whether all these other extensions are properly set up. If you want, you can check them on your own web hosting account. Basically, I just copy the name of them, and then I just use the find function, and as you can see, I can basically check whether this information exists. So you might want to do that before installing Magento. So other than that, now we have everything ready. Now what we're going to do is we're going to unarchive the Magento file. We're going to tick that off, and we're going to click unarchive. So now it's going to ask us where we want to unarchive. So we're going to go into the root. As you can see, it's already selected. So we're going to click OK, and right now, there we go. Alright, so we got it. We can basically now delete the archive file. Okay, so this is our Magento folder. As you can see, Magento is basically set up in its own folder. So right here, with this current setup, the only way we can access our store after it's installed on our web hosting account would be by going to our web URL /Magento/ and that's how you would get the store. This is not what I want to do. I want to install Magento into the root directory. In other words, I want people to visit my web store, and when they visit it, I want them, for example, my web store right now is set up as iSavePlaza.com, right? So when someone types that in, I want the store to show up. I don't want the store to be set up in a subfolder. So basically what we need to do is we need to go into this Magento folder, and we need to move the files from within it into the root of our web hosting account. Now notice that there are 2 pages here, so we're going to change the page size to 50. This way we make sure that we move every single file that's here. If you do not change this, you're going to have to move files that are on the second page. So whatever. So basically we set it up page size 50. We check all of these files. We click the move icon. And now we select our root directory. And we click OK. And now it's going to basically ask us if we want to overwrite some of the files that already exist, which is the favicon, which is the little icon that shows up right there when someone visits your store. You can either replace that, but you're going to want to create your own favicon anyway, or you can leave it at that, whatever. So yes to all. Okay, we just moved everything. We can go ahead now and delete the Magento folder. Okay, so now this is the tricky part right here. This is the problem that most people are running into. Okay, so now there are probably a couple of ways that we can install Magento, but for some reason this particular configuration worked out for me pretty well. So I'm going to stick with the configuration that actually worked. What we're going to want to do is we're going to want to edit this php.ini file. What we're going to do first is we're going to rename it to php5.ini, and we're going to click OK. Now we're going to edit this file. First, what we're going to actually do is we're going to take the contents out of php.ini.sample out and paste it into this file over here. So let's click on that and click edit, and now we're going to copy this information right here. Now we're going to close this file, and now we're going to go back to the php5.ini file, and we're going to click edit, and now we're going to paste that other information at the bottom here. Now this part, allow URL fopen, this has to be turned on, so we're going to turn that on. The rest of these variables, you might be able to get away with using them. So we're going to leave all of that the way it is. We're going to turn off this zlib output compression because first of all, I don't even know if our server can really, our web hosting account can actually handle output compression, since we are on an economy web hosting account here. So we're going to type off over here. Again, you can get this information at creatingawebstore.com. The URL to this page where I will have this information is in the description area of this YouTube video. So now the upload temp directory, this right here, this path wasn't working well for me. I basically decided to use a path from within the Magento file structure. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go back to that PHP file that we created earlier, that info.php file. So we're going to go to our web URL and then info.php. And as you can see, this is the path right here up to the HTML part. This is the path of our web hosting account. So we're going to copy that and we're going to paste that right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Magento media folder and a temp folder for our upload temp directory. So what we're going to do here right now is we're going to type media/tmp. And we're going to leave it at that, and we're going to save this file. And now in the PHP info file, see, the thing is that Godaddy doesn't update the PHP 5.ini file immediately after clicking save. The changes basically don't take effect right away. It could be 5 to 10 minutes. This was basically throwing me off while trying to install Magento because I was getting no input file selected message or something like that when I went to install because the changes didn't take effect immediately. So you should wait. A good way to check whether those changes have taken effect would be to go to your info.php file and refresh it, and then go to the temp directory section, the upload temp there right here, and as you can see it's still /tmp, which means that the changes didn't take effect, because if they would have taken effect you would see the path of our media folder and the temp folder which we just added. So now what we should do is go back to our media folder here and make sure that you have the folder TMP. I already created this folder earlier. You don't have it because Magento doesn't come with this folder installed by default. It's basically a custom folder that I created. So what you can do is you can click create new directory right here and just type in TMP and then click the OK button, and that folder will be created for you. Also, there will be some permission issues with when you try to upload files. So you should make sure that all of the needed folders are writable, which I will show you how to do in a little while. But what we're going to do now is we're going to go to our .htaccess file and we're going to edit this file. Basically, I read somewhere, actually it says it right here in the commented area, that GoDaddy specific options dash multi-views has to be uncommented, but from my experience it's not necessary. But we do need this right here, the cgi.fix.pathinfo. So we're going to copy this and we're going to need to paste that into the php5.ini file. But this part right here where you see rewrite base, we uncomment this line right here, and as you can see, if you would have had a stock install, your store's directory would be Magento, but since we have Magento installed in the root directory, what we're going to do is we're just going to leave // right here, which basically tells the server what the rewrite base URL path is right here. So we're going to do that, and we're going to click save icon and close this file, and as I said earlier, we're going to go back to php5.ini and we're going to edit this file, And we're going to paste that line that we copied from the .htaccess file right at the end. We're going to click Save, and we're going to click the Close button. Now again, I don't know if these changes have taken effect yet. See, this part, the temp directory that we just did earlier, took effect, but the line that we just pasted into the file probably hasn't registered yet, so we should wait a couple more minutes. Again, you can paste all that information at one shot, and this way you'll know just by looking at this line right here, the upload temp directory, whether changes have taken effect. So now what we do is we move on with the installation. We basically access our store's URL, and then we type install.php. Hit enter. Will basically so if you're getting this screen, everything is fine. So you can move along with the installation process. Again, if this screen isn't showing up and if it says no input file selected, that means that the changes haven't taken effect. Wait a couple more minutes, maybe 10 more minutes, and try again. So we're going to agree to the terms here. Obviously you're going to want to read them. Click continue. And now what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to set up a MySQL database, since that's where Magento stores all of this information. You know, you can check your time zone here, whatever. I'm just installing for demo purposes, so I'm just going to leave it at that. So here now I'm going to show you how to install a MySQL database onto Godaddy, which is where you're going to enter all those credentials into this box right here. So let's go back to our window, Godaddy window, and where it says databases, we're going to hover over that and we're going to click on the MySQL link. Once that happens, we're going to create a new database. So we're going to click on Add One Now. And now this is a friendly name. This can be whatever you want it to be. It could be the name of your store. It could be Magento. It could be whatever. You know, I'm going to type in Magento DB. And now the database name can be whatever again. My store's DB will be mine. You can set it up any way you like. And the password again will be whatever you want it to be. It has to be 8 to 14 characters long. Start with a letter. Include a lowercase letter. Include an uppercase letter. Include a number. Include a special character. So we're going to set up our password. And here we go. And now it's going to pending setup. We wait for the database to be ready for us to use. This screen will refresh automatically once it's ready, so let's just give it a couple of minutes. Okay, so there it is. There's our database. We basically click on Actions right here and we click Details, which is where we'll find our credentials. What we're going to want is the host name, which is this right here. We copy that and we paste it where it says host. And now the Magento database name is, as you can see, our username and database name are the same. So we're going to paste that here. And we're going to paste that here. And now the password we type in. And this will be our base URL. As you can see, I accessed this URL without the www. If you want Magento installed with www, you basically type in the www into the URL when installing Magento. Or we can, I think we can even change it here. Let's see if that works. This will be the first time that I actually try to make that change. Enable charts, okay. skip base URL validation before the next step. This is basically to validate whether the URL works, I guess. I'll skip it because I already installed Magento once. I saw that it worked fine. Use web server Apache rewrites. Yes, this basically creates search engine friendly URLs. So you're going to want to tick that off. Now, secure URLs. This is necessary on. Well, actually, it's recommended that you have an SSL certificate on a hosting account that is set up for actual business. So if you're actually looking to make sales on this in this store, you're going to want an SSL account. Since this web hosting account that I have set up is only for demo purposes, I don't have an SSL certificate installed. So I'm going to leave this unticked. Now, if you do end up getting an SSL certificate, you're going to want to basically tick this off, and then as you can see, your URL, your secure URL will start with HTTPS. Since I added the www dot here, I would do it here as well. Run admin interface with SSL. This is recommended if because it basically secures anything that you do in the admin section, for example when you upload files and all this other stuff. Again, I'm going to untick this because I don't have an SSL installed. Now, this is session data. Do you want it system-based or database based? As you can see, file system is the default, so I assume that this is what Magento sees as the more ideal way of handling session data, so I'm going to leave it at that. There's also a way to change this later on if you'd like. With database, from my experience, it can be slow if you don't maintain your database properly, if you use database storage session data. So we're going to go with file system, and then we're going to click the continue button, and now it's going to install this. This is I'm pretty new to Magento. I installed it for the first time yesterday. I mainly use OS Commerce, and this really takes a while, and Magento is really slow on a shared hosting account with Godaddy. The database is humongous. I was surprised by how large it is, and that's basically why it's taking so long to install all this information. But once it's set up, we can proceed. So let's just wait while this information is installed. As you can see, we're on the next step now. Now we basically just enter in our name, and this username will be for the admin section. So just create whatever username you want to use. And of course the password. The encryption key, I don't have one, so we're going to leave this blank, but we will be provided with one right after this installation is complete. Also, you're going to want to, before you go any further, check this installation guide, because it has some really good information on folder permissions. Basically what we have to do is we have to set up our folder permissions properly so that we can upload images and all this stuff, or else we're going to run into little problems when we try to upload images to our store and other stuff, of course, like apps and all this other stuff. So what we're going to do is we need to make sure that these files are writable, that these files and folders are writable. So what we're going to do is, this would be the var folder and this .htaccess file, and we go permissions, and we make sure that all of these boxes right here are ticked off, and then we have app So we want to make sure that the permissions on here are all ticked off like that. And then we go inside that folder and the etc. folder, set permissions. Right, okay, and then we basically, what else do we have? Magento, the var directory right here. And now we're going to have, see, and all the directories under Magento Media have to be writable by the web server. So make sure that you get all of these folders. So we permissions, right? And then we go inside our media folder. We tick all these folders off. Permissions, and then you can check each folder individually whether it has folders within them. As you can see, these don't have any folders. This is our temp directory, which we just created, and as you can see here, we have some folders. But I don't believe there are any folders within these. Okay, so now we have everything set up there so that it's writable, and we click continue. Now, if you continue running into trouble with your installation, play around with some features. Like, for example, if you cannot get past this installation wizard, and if you cannot complete everything, like at one point I got a 500 server error. Just I had this uncommented. I basically put the hashtag back on there. Play around with little things. Like, for example, this part, it might need to be commented. It might work without the hashtag. So look into that if you cannot get this software installed. Also look into the PHP 5.ini file that we created. If you cannot get it installed, try to remove this cgi.fix_info variable. Again, try to do it with the way things are set up right now, the way I have it set up in this video. If you can get past the installation wizard with success, then you're fine. You're good to go. If not, try to make those modifications to your file. And this is our key, which basically Magento is telling us to keep in a safe place. So now what we do is we're going to go, as you can see, this is our front end. See, that's our store right there. And now we're going to go to the back end, which is the admin section. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a test item and categories as well, just so that we make sure that everything is working properly. I know that there are little things that we still have to sort out, and this is basically why I'm continuing on with this demonstration. So you will see in a minute what little errors we'll be running into. Okay, so here we go. We're going to get our dashboard out. And we're going to now go to our catalog, manage categories. And we're going to create a category within our default category here. And we're going to add a subcategory. And this is going to be a test cat for me. It can be whatever you want it to be. I'm not going to fill in all this information. Of course, you're going to want to enter in as much of that information as possible so that your store is nicely indexed by the search engines. This parent category, category products, we don't have any products, but we'll be adding products in just a little bit. So save category. And there's our test cat. And now we're going to go in and add a product. And simple product, whatever. This is just a little test. Name is going to be test. Enable visibility catalog search. Okay, price $1. Tax class none. And the images, this is the important thing. Okay, so now we're going to upload an image. I already have an image that I saved. It's of a pair of sneakers. Just a little demo here. So we're going to upload the file. And as you can see, it uploaded, but look what happens. We have a little error here. See, when we try to access the file, it says internal server error. I've been reading about this online, and I was surprised by the suggestions that people gave. Because what they basically tell people to do is they tell them to go to the media folder right here. So we're back in our Godaddy FTP file manager. And they tell them to rename this file, this .htaccess file, so that it is no longer protecting this directory. Not only is it protecting this directory, but it's also using Magento functions. So you do not want to delete this file or rename it. What you want to do is you just want to edit a simple piece of code here. You see this problem right here, options all -indexes. This is the culprit right here. This line of code right here is preventing us from seeing this image because it's basically telling the server not to show files that are within the folder. But from how I see it, I believe that just the .htaccess file being there restricts the folder from being viewed. So I don't even understand why this code is here. So what we're going to do is we're going to hashtag this, we're going to comment it out, and we're going to click the save button. And then click the X icon. And there's the image. That was the whole problem. And now we're going to do this right here, and we basically want to make sure that the item is in stock because it won't show up. And quantity will be, there we go. So save and continue and exit. I forgot to add the item to the category. Let's go back and do that. Save and continue, and now we're going to access our store. And there we go, there's our test cat. And there's our item. We click on the item. And as you can see, our images work. Everything works. So basically that's that. Now, how does Magento perform on a GoDaddy web hosting account? From what I see, not very well. It's pretty slow, in my opinion. GoDaddy actually recommends a virtual server or dedicated server. Of course, that is up to you. Personally, I would go for a little more speed. In my opinion, Magento is pretty slow. I use OS Commerce, and while out of the box, OS Commerce isn't all that amazing. With all the add-ons that they have, you can make a pretty nice looking store, and basically it's pretty fast since the code is well written. Magento is, as you can see, it's really something else. So that's that. Thank you for watching this video. Basically, I will be creating a couple more videos. I hope to demonstrate a couple of other open source shopping carts. I basically want to create videos of how to install them. So this will hopefully be a series of videos, and Magento was my first video because it is one of the most popular open source programs on the web right now. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and please subscribe and keep watching. Also check out creatingawebstore.com. I have some great information on that site on search engine exposure and traffic tips, free shopping comparison sites. I basically have created a list of some of the greatest shopping cart software that's out there on the web, all types of tips, and basically you want to check it out. Check it out. Thank you, and good luck.